Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is here, and they did the weirdest reveal of a game I think I've ever seen. Look, I'm here with a couple of beers. I'm going to guide you through it. Test Drive Unlimited original was one of my favourite games. I had it on the Xbox 360, had it on the PS2, even had it on the PSP. One of the most legendary games of all time. It's now created this franchise that Forza Horizon dominates, and it was set on the island of Oahu in Honolulu, which is now the setting for the next Crew game. Is that all clear? Well, if it's not clear, don't worry. I'm going to let you know everything about the history of Test Drive Unlimited. I'm going to let you know everything about Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, which is being shown off here as we see now in... This is a very French reveal. I love France, love driving in France, love eating in France, love French people, but this is a very French reveal. Test Drive Unlimited has traditionally been quite a French game, I've felt. And you're going to see here, because in their wisdom, they've decided to shoot this at 25 frames a second. Very cinematic. If I was at the cinema, that'd be great. But for a video game, when's the last video game you ran that was 25 frames a second apart from GoldenEye on the N64? Now, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is going to be set in Hong Kong. So we're in Hong Kong today, and this is the reveal. By the way, this is going to be the only unsponsored review you're going to see of Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. You're going to see what goes on here. It's quite an interesting setup, led by this lady here, who gives me quite a eerie, authoritative nurse vibe. Has anyone seen the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with Jack Nicholson? I get kind of that vibe from our presenter here, aka Vivian Hughes, or Meek Melly Balgan. Maybe it's Meek Melly Balgan, she's playing Vivian Hughes, I don't know, but you're going to see she's going to be prowling on the stage, keeping our influencers in check. It feels like a setup where the influencers have been let out of the asylum for an hour or so to play a game, but she's keeping an eye on them. She's going to take them back in as soon as the time's up, or as soon as anyone steps over the line. And here's someone else who's come. This is Alain Jarniou, who you're actually going to see drive the game in this reveal here. He's from KT Kyloton, who I believe went on strike, actually. They went on strike before this reveal, not happy about some conditions imposed on them by Nacon. So some French drama there going on, and Alan's going to tell us about the game. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a free roam experience. Look, if you played Test Drive Unlimited before, you know that they do some weird stuff in the games. They insert fashion in the games. They've had these weird enterable houses for no real reason. Test Drive Unlimited was really a game before its time. A lot of the weird and frankly boring stuff the Formula 1 games do now. You can tell I'm on the beers here. I'm telling it straight. So if you appreciate that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. But they were doing some weird stuff way before it was fashionable, like just stuff that's not related to the game at all, being able to gamble, stuff like that, kind of weird. So you're going to see here, they've gone to Hong Kong. What kind of weird stuff have they inserted? We'll find out. What's Alan saying? Let's have a little listen.
Some image of gameplay of the game. We have been working on the game for a long time now. Something that we...
Right, we're going to see some gameplay. That's awesome.
But we want the game to be ready to be shown, and this is today.
So it's ready to be shown today, but they're going to show it at 25 frames a second. What does that mean? You be the judge. Maybe this is going to come out at a 25 FPS frame rate. So here we go. Classic Test Drive Unlimited. We've got our character facing the wrong way. Love it. Here's Alan. See some placeholder stuff on the top there. Text. Yeah, and it's all walkaboutable. Now, I'm going to let you know what I think about this, because I think Test Drive Unlimited is straying dangerously close to GTA at a time where GTA is probably one of the most popular games in the world. Look at the frame rate tank. And also, when GTA 6 comes out, well, talk about that later on. See, this is a playable space. We've got another Alan here, and we've got Camille. Alan's waving. Oh, Camille's a real person. Here's Camille, it's a real person. Or maybe she's in the virtual space. And here's Alan, who's dressed for a job interview. It's actually a gameplay playthrough, so strong look there from Alan. Even strong, he's gone for the assassin look in the game. Rate it. Joining the good. Now, in all seriousness, this is kind of what Test Drive Unlimited is about, right? It's about messing around with your mates, driving around. And to be fair, there's no other game, maybe, there's no other racing game apart from GTA that's really captured it. No one really drives around with your mates in, you know, Need for Speed. No one really does it in the crew, do they? Despite the crew wanting you to do that. Sometimes I feel like game developers of racing games have a really different idea of what people actually find fun than people. Oh, it's Theo. Black Panther. Theo in the house. And we've got a game designer. So Theo's a fellow racer YouTuber-y person. We do a lot of Gran Turismo. And here's the setup. We're going to get a lot of gameplay today. Settle in, by the way, if you're enjoying the video. And yeah, by the way, this is what they're showing. I mean, you see the anti-aliasing going on there, or lack of anti-aliasing. It's interesting that the shots of the influencers are much higher quality than the shots from the game, right? Kind of a weird one. You can see there's districts here, clans. So I think basically what's happened is 3 of the influencers have gone into one clan and 3 of the others are in a different clan. And the clans are going to be... He must be the most smartly... I've never seen an influencer so smartly dressed as Alan. Very nice. And there's Alain as well, playing his own game like an absolute boss. Carnage on the freeway. Well, let's have a look what it looks like with traffic. We'll have a look at the graphics as well. We'll have a look at the gameplay elements. Obviously, they've got some... oh, no, this is the... It's not a driving line, per se. That's navigation. See our host there looking the other way. Keeping an eye on proceedings from the rear view. Wonder if the dumpster trucks will be playable in the game. Here's a pickup truck. And a Corvette C8 with a wang on it. Very nice. Is that a C8? Was that a C7? I'm not sure if that was a C7 or a C8. That's a C7. My word, why? What is it with computer games? Look, I've been in America recently. You see a lot of Corvette C8s. You don't really see any Corvette C7s. Why is every game including the C7s? I don't know. Something about cashing in there. So it looks like there's little races as you go as you drive with your crew. And if you win, you can cash in. Very nice. Wreck nearby as well. That's something that was in the original test drive game, wasn't it? But the crew have really taken it to another level. I'm having a look here for mini games. I want to see, you know, do you get any credits or kudos or whatever for near misses, driving along for the road? That's something the Crew 1 did really well. I feel like the Crew 1 did that better than the Crew 2. By the way, let me know in the comments, what's your favourite open world racing game? There's a clean driving, high speeds, maybe some sort of combo thing going on the top there. You can see on the right, you've got everyone's accounts showing up in the group. Alan's on the mic now. And what do the physics look like? Kind of drifty, kind of... Test Unlimited, if it felt more like, I don't want to say a sim, but it felt, when the first game came out, it felt like it was kind of realistic. And now I don't think it would hold up as nicely. Certainly didn't on the PSP. But I wonder where Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown wants to go with the handling. See, there's an instant challenge as well you can do. The crazy thing about Test Drive Unlimited on the Xbox 360, which you could go, I think it was right on the D-pad twice, and you would end up in a map with other players. And at that time, it must have been 2005 or something, 2006, I don't know. That was absolutely revolutionary. That was genuinely like, oh my word. It was like being in the future, and you could just race around with other people. You could set races, but generally you just race with people. You kind of do impromptu drag races yourself, honk the horn. You just race along with people. Now that's really normal. There's not an online racing game with a free roam element that wouldn't, you know, allow that. Well, it looks like Theo's taken us somewhere. See, is that Emily in the background? Just, again, she's just prowling. Just making sure everyone's staying in their lane. You have to remember, all the influencers here, they will be quite... Well, it wouldn't matter if you said anything unfavourable about the game there, because it would be edited out, let's face it. So here, we'll say whatever we think, favourable or unfavourable. We'll just say whatever we think is the truth, frankly. Looks like someone's still racing in the bottom left. They're just sort of killing some time. Some banter is dangerous levels of banter kicking off. Oh, it's Alan the boss in his Porsche. The driving looks kind of hard to say at night, but there's nothing I'm seeing so far that looks really bad. How much stuff is destructible, that we'll have to see. Forza Horizon is now the king of this genre of games, and Forza Horizon, basically everything is destructible. It's really good for destructibility. Test Drive Unlimited, the original game, was really bad for destructibility, by the way. Like, nothing was destructible. Even lampposts and stuff like that. You'd hit it and you just stop. Well, it looks like we're going into another walkable element. Now, this is what I mean about getting close to GTA, because if you want to do stuff like this, it's not 2006 anymore. This is basically GTA territory. GTA, you go to spaces like this with your avatars, and then you can go into races, and GTA racing is really popular. I know a lot of sim racers will, you know, turn their nose up at it, but it's really, really, really popular. And, you know, what are Test Drive Unlimited trying to do here? Are people actually going to hang out here? I can see it working. As someone with a community, look, we've got 3,000 people in our Discord, 50,000 subscribers on this channel. I can see us hanging out here, and, you know, people meet, you know, because we hang out in the Discord. This would be like hanging out in a place where you can then go racing, maybe check out each other's cars. Not sure anyone's going to actually go. I mean, what are they doing here? This is so French, man. Like, who's actually going to... Do they think people are actually going to do this? This is the weird thing. Like, the amount of time that's been spent coding this as a deliverable. You know, how many people are actually going to do this unironically? It's just... I've no other way of explaining it other than it's very sort of a French thing to include in a racing game. And you look, I love the diversity, I love the different sort of games, so I'll roll with it. Alan looks like he last went to a club in maybe 1973. No, I'm being a bit harsh now. I'm sure he's a very nice bloke, but he hasn't dressed for the club. Well, maybe he has sort of dressed for the club, I don't know. Clubs are a bit different these days, aren't they? Oh, maybe he was talking there about going to the clubs in the 50s. But look how much time they're dedicating here to walking around in the club. It's kind of, this is what I mean about Test Drive. It's not like other games. It's not like other driving games. They do things their own way. They don't give an F. So well, now you have to physically walk out. But then again, in Gran Turismo 7, I'm like, oh, in Gran Turismo 7, it'd be lovely to have a space where you can just chat about your car, show off your cars, your liveries, meet other people, walk around the cafe. So maybe I shouldn't hate it so much. Here we go with the map, by the way, of Hong Kong. Oh, we're going to get a Millionaire's Challenge. Quite a nice transition there from the map to the car. I preferred that over the Crew 2, actually. And the Crew Motorsport coming out soon. I've got early access to that, so I'll be letting you know my thoughts on the Crew 2 inside stuff as soon as that embargo lifts. So you'll see it here first, or you'll see it here exactly the same time as everywhere else that does it. That's a more accurate way of saying it. So you got the voice track for the group, that is quite easy. Try and look at the graphics here in the Hong Kong docks. Let's have a look at the racing and destruction. Across the docks, is that starting a race? Or is that locations where you can do stuff? Maybe that was a speed camera. This must be Theo in the GTR because he has this car in real life. Wonder if my car would be in this game. Look at Alan just dominating everyone. Looks like he's standing up. There we go. Interior view of the Corvette. C7 that must have been. Look kind of janky, to be honest. But this is going to be a janky game. It's just, is it going to be a fun place? Because you'd only put dancing in there if you're trying to make a fun game, right? So they are thinking about fun rather than maybe what's the best, dare I say, business sense. I don't know. Camille's someone who drives with one ear headset on, one headset off. Here's going to see a lot of reflections there. It's quite good on the interior. You see almost smudges on the screen. I don't think any game has got the appearance of putting hands on the wheel right, because there just is a delay. Like when you make the input, unless it's going to predict it for you. Look at this destructibility. Very nice. Forza just gives you points for that. This one said clean driving, even though you destroyed a little fence. I need to work it out. Looks like they're near another wreck as well. How does it look in bumper cam? Looks good. What about the handling? Does look kind of jerky. What about the environment? Good look at the environment here. It looks kind of, I've got to be honest, looks very, very, very basic. Look at the skyscrapers there. It's looking very sort of Just Cause 2, isn't it? Can you see the environmental detail? Ooh. I mean, they do say work in progress, but running at 25 frames a second and that very rough environmental detail, you know, maybe they've struggled here. Maybe this is why they're on strike. Even the reflections on the car. Now I'm looking at the whole... I don't know if I've just woken up or something, but the whole thing is looking very, very, very rough, isn't it? It's looking really rough. I mean, this looks better. Something about the inner city. There's obviously less to do there. How will the car... Any destructibility on the car, damage? We can see decent... Oh, might have flipped over the GTR there. Looked like a nice shortcut left-hand side. Looked like there was decent damage on the AI cars. Was that a Fiat car as well? Was that a real car? Yeah, that's an Audi. A kind of a NPC car. Obviously, Test Drive Unlimited had like completely generic cars. Forza Horizon has introduced sort of real cars in free roam. But you can see there that that GTR looking bashed up. It's like a hotel casino now. Oh, don't tell me we're at a casino. Could do some gambling. Let's see. I'm looking at the reflections. It just looks kind of empty, the world. So there's no pedestrians I've seen, right? There's nothing going on in the sky like planes or helicopters. Thing is about open worlds, the more empty they seem, the more depressing. Think about GTA 5, like how dense that world is. And how believable it is as well. You see people hiking, you see people having arguments on the street, you see people getting into, you know, crashing their cars, you see police chases, you know, there's interactions where you can interact with random stuff going on. Here, I'm starting to feel like it's quite a depressing open space, but is it just a canvas that you're meant to play with your mates? We'll see. We will see. I really want to enjoy this game, by the way, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Because ultimately, it's our hard-earned money that, you know, we spend. Look at that street sign. I wonder if because Hong Kong... I'm going to get into political difficulty here, aren't I? But that street sign looked like it was kind of similar to a British street sign. I wonder. Here's a Corvette C7. Look, is that like tap to drift or something? Like it went into drifty quite quickly. Go and go over the leaves there. Some can we call it destruction? Destruction of leaves? Cars parked here. I think for Hong Kong, think about a game like Sleeping Dogs. Like very dense. You know, a lot of stuff going on. Minimap very busy. Like I think deliberately we can't see the minimap here. Oh no, we can left hand side. But not so many icons. Stuff to do, but like Hong Kong, you want street sellers. It's a city that never sleeps. You want people outside. You know, you want, you know, smog and smoke, all this kind of stuff. So without that, it kind of reduces it kind of to a mobile level game. Finally, Alan's arrived in his Porsche. And other Alan likes it. Very good cameras they've got here. Very good bokeh in the background. Where's Emily? Where's Emily? Oh, there she is. Just keeping an eye on proceedings. Camille's worried now because Emily might... She's tapping her watch. Might get a bit Logan's Run. And the Corvette's still there. How are some people finished? Oh, dearie me. Wow, well, there we go. There's some big destruction going on. Good to see. Not a lot of destruction of the environment, but the destruction on the cars looks quite nice, I think. Would you like to see more? Would you like to see the wings come off? I mean, let's be honest. Forza Horizon 5 and even Forza Horizon 4 look well above this, right? I mean, Forza Horizon 5 is a very, very, very good game, what they've done there. There we go. Good to see some stars come up. Maybe that was driving at speed. Race unavailable category. Stuff like that. Go into the gas station to repair your car. I quite like that. No faffing about. There'll be gas stations everywhere. I liked how Need for Speed Most Wanted, you could just drive through the gas station at 1,000,000 miles an hour and it would repair your car. In fact, it would repair your car and change the paint colour. Quite an interesting concept, that. Another caching opportunity. I don't know what the caching's about. But it looks like it's doing stuff like 0 to 100, burn, 180 degrees. So you are sort of chaining stuff. Very simple interface compared to, well, the way the crew works these days, the crew 2 is all about fame. You do stuff that makes you famous, which basically means driving stupid. And you get followers. It's a bit like real life, actually. A bit like being a YouTuber. I should be good at that. And then the way Horizon works is just by doing anything, just by breathing, it throws points at you. It looks like Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown's got a much more simpler way of doing it. Again, we're inside. How many people are going to go to this sort of place? I don't know. They want it to feel like a sort of members club, I imagine. Like going down to the members club. There's even a cloakroom. Wonder if you can leave your if you can virtually leave your virtual coat. Maybe. There's a bar there as well. Get yourself a virtual drink. It's getting a bit abstract now, isn't it, to be honest? See, Alan's all about the business. Alan's a savvy... I reckon Alan, you know, he's here for business. This looks like a place where Alan would hang out. I quite like that. Theo's gone to the underground club. Alan's gone to this business lounge. There's a VIP lounge as well, where you can hang out with other VIPs. Maybe it's as soulless as they tend to be in real life. So, looks like there's some battle there, clan battle. I mean, we've seen clans in, you know, what's it, Drive Club. Do clans ever really work? Do people care that much? Well, clans in GTA sort of work. Clans in Call of Duty work. But they're more PvP. This is... I think in Nakon's ideal world, this is all sort of like people would come together to race against each other, but then come together and it's all kind of friendly but competitive but friendly. Generally, clans only really do well when there's a lot of hatred involved, a lot of vitriol. It's clan versus clan. It's pride on the line, I should say. I don't even know what's going on anymore. It's a cocktail bar. There are NPCs that you will never want to interact with. I mean, dear, they've gone proper test drive, to be fair. They've gone proper test drive. Maybe this, you know, maybe they're going to be absolutely thriving. Maybe it's going to be like Second Life. I don't know. I get the feeling we're not really going to see Theo in here. It's not really well, I suspect it's not really his bag.
All showing the streets winning. You haven't mentioned that yet.
All the influencers are absolutely beside themselves here at the members' lounge. Solar coins. We all saw that stuff about being able to cash in and things like that. So, but think how much this gameplay premiere they are dedicating to interior places. It's kind of weird, right? It's kind of weird.
Up until here,
oh, Emily.
will become serious very fast.
Uh-oh, Emily is going to crack the whip.
First ever competition for first race here in a
first competition.
Sharp streets.
And whoever doesn't win, Emily takes round the back. And they are disposed of. Here we see choosing the cars.
On the streets?
GTR, Lamborghini, Corvette C7. They're all... Are they all in the same car again? Maybe they just chose their favourite cars. We'd quite like to see some gameplay here in the daytime. Here we go. Right, now we're talking a race. Looks like there might be... There's not 8 of them there, right? So there might be some AI involved. Corvette exploring the... Okay, there was some destructibility there. Quite a lot of lag going on. I mean, I don't know if it's networked or whatever, but... Quite a bit of lag. They've all got wired controllers. That might just be for battery, the way they set it up. But see smoke coming from the drift. Oh, look at that. Is that a car? That's Alan, isn't it? The big boss. You know, playing at speed like this with the barriers, it doesn't matter so much about you know, the lack of the free roam, you know, busyness per se. This could frankly be burnout. And how does it look? Oh, driving line has got the brake stuff. Quite a tidy driving line. Quite like it. Some of them hover above the track. This looks quite nicely integrated. Nice, very satisfying to go for bollards always. Look at Theo's GTR, all bashed up. So good example of destruction. He looks like he might be testing the handling there. Not sure if I'm seeing any boost. These games tend to let you accumulate boost by doing stupid things. That's how boost works in real life. Not sure I'm seeing much. There's the Ford Raptor followed by the GTR. Oh, looks like the cars stop really, really suddenly. Maybe they're all souped up. We'll have to see how the progression works. Obviously, Forza are going a really controversial route with the progression of the car RPG. Need to level up your cars. There is, again, an Alfa Romeo and an Audi there. And a Fiat. So maybe these are going to make up a lot of the cars. Is that a Range Rover? Yes, it is. So you've got real cars for the traffic you can smash into. It's not always the case. Sometimes the car manufacturers don't really like to license that out. Two Porsches on the screen here. I don't know what's in the top left. I don't remember what's in the top left. Wasn't it an old Dodge Charger or something?
No.
See the splits coming up. Looks like you can go beyond that. That's not a hard barrier that pops up. It's just a kind of indicative one. But it looks like you can go past it. Some games will put that as a hard barrier. Oh dear. T-junction here. Wonder if that glass will ever... That must be pretty much the most damage you can put on it. Oh, look, the back's almost falling off. That is nice. That's good to see. The damage goes that far. I want to see, will the wings fall off and stuff? We'll need to see. Was there ever a wing on that GTR? I can't remember. The back of the Porsche's falling off. I don't know if that's an active aero thing or just... Yeah, that must be active aero on the Porsche. Emily's keeping a keen eye. I mean, okay, that looks quite nice. The sun there, sun rays. But it kind of looks like a game from about at least 5 years ago. If you were to tell me this game came out 5 years ago, I would not be surprised. So is it going to be an engaging place to be with your friends, to hang out, to race, to earn solar coin? Or not? I mean, it's going to have the Crew Motorsport. The Crew, by the way, Ivory Tower have supported that game so well. The Crew 2. Crew 1 was very well supported as well. Adding, you know, weather condition. I think the Crew 1, I remember they added rain as an update when I had it. The Crew 2, I've had that, and they've added 60 FPS. Here comes Emily. Commiserations to the people. Oh, it's Alan who won! Well, the businessman taking care of business here. You know what? I'm going to skip a bit. I'm going to skip a bit forward here. Let's skip it forward. Right, I'm back. It's just Emily just going around, just chatting. So let me know what you think about the Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown gameplay reveal. I'm not that blown away by the graphics, but they did decide to show it at 25 frames a second. Don't know what they're thinking. I feel like maybe they've got some stuff to hide. It's not quite as ready as it is. Maybe they need to show this for shareholders or something, for, you know, business purposes. But as a pure gamer on my side, as someone who's not paid to say something one way or the other here, I'm not convinced. I mean, I feel like the Crew Motorsport is probably going to look better, play better, and then there's Forza Horizon as well. So I'll keep an eye on everyone. Let me know if you want to see more of these, and I'll see you in the next one.